when I sat down, I actually had Caitlin Clark's mum sit directly next to me. And her whole family was there. Her dad was there, her brother was there. It was a whole bunch of other people, relatives, it looked like. So maybe like auntie and uncle, I'm not sure. Family, friends. But they definitely came to watch her play, and the expectation, I'm sure, was that she was playing.
Something unusual unfolded during a recent Indiana Fever game, and the cameras happened to capture it without much attention at first. But once fans spotted the moment online, it exploded everywhere almost instantly. During the game, trainer Joe approached the family section, not the media table, not the team executives. He went directly to where Caitlin Clark's family was sitting, and there they were, completely focused on the action. Caitlin Clark's mother and father watching every second unfold on the court.
He came over to Caitlin Clark's mum, and he actually came over and was like, hey, and her mum said to him, how's she going? And he said, yeah. And then obviously they tried to speak discreetly next to me, but it was something along the lines of, she pulled up, saw this today, and we tried to see if she was all right, but we just made the decision to.
The same people who used to take her to early morning practices before most of the world was awake were sitting there in the crowd. The same parents who watched Caitlin Clark grow from a young girl shooting hoops in a driveway in Des Moines, Iowa, into the biggest name in women's basketball today. They traveled all that way to cheer her on, but instead of watching their daughter dominate on the court, they were left watching her sit on the bench the entire time.
Here we go again. Kelly Crosscoff, Amber Cox move right here, doing a last minute update. Caitlin Clark is not playing tonight, and I gotta count my blessings that I was able to watch Caitlin Clark. I was able to get signatures, the whole everything with her. I got the Caitlin Clark experience twice this year. I feel bad for the fans that travel so far to go see her play, and they won't be able to see her tonight, and they pull the carpet underneath all those fans. This is wrong, guys. This is wrong. They should have had this update a day before or two.
Before going any deeper into this, there's one important thing people need to understand about Caitlin Clark's mentality as a competitor. Sitting on the sidelines has never been part of who she is. That's simply not how she's wired. This is the same player who regularly played over 40 minutes in college without anyone blinking an eye. During her rookie season under head coach Christy Sides, she was on the court for nearly every crucial moment because that's the kind of player she has always been.
Caitlin, she is not going to be benched if she's not injured, or she's not going to do any damage to herself. She is a true competitor to her core. Seriously, this is Caitlin not playing. This is her wishing she was on the floor. This is her going, God, get me out there. She said recently, being on the bench, yes, she wants to be one of the best teammates she can in terms of being supportive, but God knows she does not want to be benched. She wants to be playing ball. She loves it more than anybody.
Basketball is far more than just a career for Caitlin Clark. It's a part of who she is at her core. This is what she was born to do. And if you watched her sitting on that bench, fully suited up, locked into every possession, legs restless, eyes following every movement on the floor, it was obvious. You could feel how badly she wanted to be in the game. A competitor like that doesn't suddenly stop burning with intensity just because a coach sends them to the bench. If anything, that fire only grows stronger. And as her family sat there watching Joe walk over to them, they saw the same thing everyone else noticed on camera. Their daughter looked completely ready to play, yet she remained on the sidelines.
To let the Indiana Fever know, I will walk. Y'all get y'all stuff together. Stop putting your damn hands on me. Stop touching me. Stephanie White, get the hell out of my way on offense, or else I can take my talents elsewhere. I can go elsewhere. I can sell tickets out elsewhere. My fans already are starting to show up less and less because they don't trust y'all dealing with me.
Under Christy Sides, the approach was clear, and it delivered results. Caitlin Clark stayed on the court. During her rookie season, she averaged 35.4 minutes per game, ranking among the top players in the entire WNBA. She was the heartbeat of Indiana's offense, the primary scorer, the facilitator, the player who stretched defenses and changed the energy of every game she touched. Christy Sides recognized something that really should have been obvious to everyone. When Caitlin Clark is playing, the entire game shifts. She creates shots, shots, sets up teammates, forces defenses to adjust, and electrifies the crowd every time she gets rolling. The Indiana Fever became must-watch basketball because of her impact. Arenas sold out. Even opposing teams packed their buildings whenever Indiana came to town. Fans traveled for hours just to see Clark play in person. That became the expectation. So when Stephanie White stepped in and began taking Clark out during important stretches, benching her in moments fans struggled to understand, people did not react with simple confusion. The reaction quickly turned into frustration, the kind that kept building game after game.
Caitlin from earlier, she didn't practice yesterday. Why was she not listed on the injury report, or why wasn't the injury report updated like earlier today if she woke up with soreness in her back?
Well, not everybody that doesn't practice or gets a pro day is on the injury report, so that happens all the time. And she wasn't listed on the injury report earlier because we expected her to play.
And is she injured? I guess is a fair question. Is she injured, or is it something other than an injury?
Her back is sore. So if there's anything more detailed than that, that's the training staff.
Do you think the Fever could get fined for not listing her on the injury report?
No.
To be fair, Stephanie White and the Indiana Fever have addressed the situation publicly. Their explanation has centered around load management, protecting their star player, and making sure Caitlin Clark stays healthy after what turned into a brutal 2025 season. She dealt with 3 different injuries, appeared in only 13 games, and saw her season end far earlier than anyone expected. From a management standpoint, the reasoning makes sense. Nobody wants to watch that happen again. Not the coaching staff, not the organization, not the fans, and definitely not Clark herself. But this is where the argument starts to lose people once you actually watch the games unfold. Basketball, especially for elite point guards, is built on rhythm and timing. Players need long stretches on the floor to study defenses, build chemistry with teammates, and get comfortable within the pace of the game. Constantly pulling a player out just as they begin to settle in makes that almost impossible. You cannot expect someone to regain peak intensity every few minutes after repeatedly stopping their flow. That's not how the game works. Momentum matters, rhythm matters, and when Clark is being rotated in and out at inconsistent moments, the entire Fever offense starts to feel disconnected. The chemistry never fully stabilizes, and the impact has become noticeable on the court.
Indiana Fever took on the Portland Fire, and there were about 35 people in attendance. Damn! Fans, if any fans were outside ready to show up, they turned their car around. If somebody was in the parking garage getting ready to pay the parking attendant, as they're handing over the cash, they're looking at their phone. Oh, Caitlin Clark's not playing. Hey, I'll take my cash back. Yeah, I'm not coming. Damn.
The statistics are starting to paint a picture the Indiana Fever likely do not want to address publicly. In 2026, the team has slipped to 5th in WNBA home attendance rankings. That is a major drop for a franchise that completely transformed the league's ticket demand when Caitlin Clark arrived in 2024. Her presence alone helped create one of the biggest attendance surges women's basketball had ever seen. When Clark is on the floor, controlling the offense, and fully involved in the game, arenas fill up fast. Fans pack the building, and every possession feels electric. But right now, Fever fans are no longer getting that same level of certainty. At one point this season, Clark was even pulled from the starting lineup less than 2 hours before tip-off. By then, thousands of fans had already made the trip to the arena expecting to watch her play. Suddenly changing that without much warning completely altered the experience for everyone who bought tickets. At that point, attending a game starts to feel less like guaranteed entertainment and more like taking a gamble.
As I was doing my reaction to the game, we witnessed in real time me seeing the attendance dropping to 14,500 and me going, that's the lowest attended game in the history of Caitlin Clark's arrival. That's nearly 3,000 empty seats. Fans are paying attention. Fans are unhappy. Look, Indiana Fever front office, leadership, Herb Simon, Pacers organization.
And the effects reach far beyond whatever shows up in the box score after the game. This is the side of the conversation that often does not get enough attention. When Caitlin Clark stays on the court for long periods, the entire Fever roster feels the difference. Her presence changes how defenses are forced to play. Opponents cannot crowd the paint or lose focus off the ball for even a moment because Clark's range and playmaking demand constant attention. Every defensive rotation becomes more difficult. Every matchup becomes more complicated. Stephanie White has talked publicly about experimenting with Clark's role and using her in different situations, but there is only so much adjustment you can make before reality steps in. A player like Caitlin Clark needs steady, meaningful minutes to fully impact the game the way she is capable of doing.
You know the love was X-rated, that's how we made it. Drinking a balance of patience, watch how you take it. Can't keep no bitches, it's too dangerous. Up through that's rated. Took everything up for the taking, I couldn't save it. See red and blues, I hit the pavement. Got low, got vacant. She needed angles, I need angels.
You can almost read the entire situation just by watching Caitlin Clark's expression. One thing about her has always been obvious. She does not hide her emotions well when it comes to competition. When she is out on the court, fully involved in the game, her focus is unmatched. She becomes completely immersed in the moment. But when she is stuck on the bench while the action continues without her, that competitive energy does not disappear. If anything, it becomes even more noticeable. Earlier this season, cameras caught a sideline moment between Clark and Stephanie White that quickly exploded across social media. Clark shot her coach a glance that spoke volumes without a single word being said. It was the kind of look every sports fan recognizes immediately. The expression of an athlete desperate to be out there competing instead of watching from the sidelines. Her family noticed it. The fans inside the arena noticed it. The cameras captured every second of it. And the viewers at home felt it too, because many of them shared the exact same frustration. Now, this is where the conversation starts getting uncomfortable, because it needs to be addressed. As Caitlin Clark continues to move in and out of the lineup in Indiana, opposing fan bases have definitely taken notice. Supporters of players like Angel Reese, Paige Buchers, and others who have been waiting since 2024 for any sign that Clark's dominance might be slipping are paying very close attention. There are already people pushing the narrative that Clark is no longer untouchable, that new stars are beginning to take over the spotlight, and that quieter crowds in Indianapolis somehow prove her era is starting to cool off. The Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese rivalry has never truly disappeared online, and anytime Clark shows even the smallest sign of struggle or vulnerability, those debates explode all over again. Right now, a lot of those critics believe they finally have evidence to back up their arguments.
Officially surpasses LeBron James, becoming the second best sales in jersey. And do you want to take a guess who number one is? Take a guess. Take a guess. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Steph Curry. Steph Curry. Steph Curry is number one. She has passed LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Victor Wembanyama. I'm not someone who is often left speechless. I'm really not. Anyone who knows me knows this about me. But I really think that we need to understand the magnitude of this moment.
But it's important to ground this conversation in what the actual numbers are showing, because the data simply does not back up that narrative. Caitlin Clark currently ranks second in jersey sales across all of basketball. Not just the WNBA, but the entire sport, including the NBA. The only player ahead of her is Stephen Curry, a multiple-time champion who has defined an era for over a decade. Even LeBron James is behind her in that category. That doesn't look like a fan base moving on. If anything, it shows continued demand at the highest level. The issue isn't interest fading, it's uncertainty. Fans don't know if they'll consistently get to see her on the court when they show up. And in sports, availability drives attendance. The moment that consistency returns, the crowds follow right behind it every single time.
She's on that till 2029. 2029.
Yeah,
Aren't
no,
you
that's
with
what
the
I'm
Fever till
saying.
2029?
Hey, I love playing with you.
Yeah, well, I'm only signed till...
Yeah. Well, don't worry about that.
Well, next year.
Don't worry.
She said, well, hey, look, I'm only signed till next year. I love playing with you too, but I'm only signed till next year. You're here till 2029. I'm not necessarily, respectfully. You know what I mean? Listen, I think Caitlin Clark should hold off on re-signing with the Indiana Fever. If she's going to re-sign, you hold off to the very last minute. You hold their damn feet to the fire until they do right by you. Hold their damn feet to the fire and you make them do.
Because at the end of the day, there is a simple, undeniable reality sitting underneath all of this. Caitlin Clark remains the face of this league. She was the face of it in 2024 when she entered as a rookie and immediately shattered attendance records across the board. She was still the central figure in 2025, even when injuries limited her to just 13 games and raised concerns about what came next. And she is still that same focal point in 2026, even in stretches where she finds herself spending more time on the bench than anyone would expect. In the 2025 season, there were only 3 WNBA games that drew more than 20,000 fans in attendance, and Caitlin Clark was part of all 3 of them. That is not coincidence. That is direct impact. That is the clearest possible signal from the audience about who they are coming to see. Her family sees it. The fans traveling hours across state lines see it. Even opposing franchises feel it every time their arenas fill up the moment she is in town.
An empty building at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The emptiest it's ever been in the Caitlin Clark era for the Indiana Fever. And I know what Slurp FC is gonna say. Oh, but it's a Wednesday. Oh, but it was hot outside. Oh, how can you expect it to be sold out every single night? Well, easily. When fans are interested, when fans are intrigued, when fans are excited to watch their favorite player play, you know what they'll do? They'll spend the $8 that's being charged to get into the building and watch their favorite player.
Deep down, the Indiana Fever organization likely understands it as well. Stephanie White may be operating with the best intentions, and the idea behind load management can come from a genuine desire to protect their most important player, but protection that disrupts her rhythm, breaks the flow of the team, and leaves her family watching from the stands as staff walk over mid-game starts to feel less like protection and more like disruption, and that's where the issue becomes hard to ignore. The solution has always seemed straightforward. Put Caitlin Clark on the floor and let her play the minutes she's earned. Give her the continuity she needs. Let her be Caitlin Clark. Because when she's fully unleashed, running the offense, dictating pace, and pulling up from deep with total confidence, the conversation shifts instantly. Nobody is talking about empty seats, attendance rankings, or rival narratives taking over. Everyone is just watching the game, and that is exactly the kind of focus this league thrives on.